Welcome back to the IBSP. Here's your host, Boxing New.
Ring Magazine's garbage pound for pound list. And look, let's break it down honestly and objectively as possible. And Ring Magazine have come out with their new pound for pound rankings. And they have Usyk at 1, Inoue at 2, Crawford at 3, Canelo at 4, Beterbiev at 5, Bivol at 6. 7 and 8 is Errol Spence and Tank Davis. They don't belong in those spots. I'm sorry. Neither one of those guys should be on a pound for pound list. Errol Spence Jr. was not competitive in his fight against Bud Crawford. He showed he didn't have skills. He showed that he was not a pound for pound level fighter in that fight because he couldn't even win a round. I mean, literally was getting dominated the whole fight and was brutally stopped, was unable to make any adjustments, looked like he didn't even belong in the same ring as a pound for pound fighter. That means Errol Spence Jr. has no place on this list. He was brutally knocked out and has been inactive for almost a year at this point. I don't see any reason that Errol Spence Jr. should be on this pound for pound list. He does not deserve it. The man was never undisputed. He has no huge legacy behind him. So at the end of the day, Errol Spence Jr. should be removed from the pound for pound rankings. Gervonta Tank Davis at number 8. He's a pound for pound talent. He has talent. He has gifts. But unfortunately, Tank Davis has never shown that against anybody in his entire career because he's never taken a chance or a risk. Even when he fought Ryan Garcia, a guy by his own estimation was one-dimensional and only had one weapon, he still handicapped him in the fight with a catchweight and a rehydration clause, which is unheard of. He put 2 clauses on this man to ensure that he would be handicapped going into the fight. Gervonta Tank Davis got the victory. Literally meant nothing. Ryan Garcia had accomplished nothing in boxing, had never won a world title, and he had 2 clauses labeled to him in that fight just for Tank Davis to even consider taking the fight. At the end of the day, the man has really done nothing in the sport of boxing. Fought Rolly Romero, was not a world champion, did nothing at that point in his career. Why would you give him that? I mean, these are literal cherry picks. I mean, this guy makes no sense. He does not belong on the pound for pound ranking. Anybody putting him on there is literally openly biased. Tank Davis is not a pound for pound fighter until he proves it in the ring by taking a risk. Now, when you look at my pound for pound rankings, I removed Errol Spence, I removed Gervonta Tank Davis, and my list goes as follows. Inoue, Usyk, Bud, Canelo, Beterbiev, Bivol, Bam Rodriguez, Tyson Fury, Vasily Lomachenko, and Teofimo. And I had to add all of those guys onto the list because those guys have put in work in their careers. They've taken chances. And if you notice, everybody on the pound for pound list has accomplished more than Gervonta Tank Davis, Teofimo, Loma, Fury, Bam Rodriguez. All of those guys have done more than Gervonta Tank Davis. And when you look at it, Teofimo, Loma, Fury, those guys have done more than Errol Spence as well. And look, let's just be honest and unbiased. Those guys have better skill sets than Errol Spence, and they've accomplished more than Gervonta Tank Davis. At the end of the day, that makes no sense to have Spence or Tank on there. My list really highlights the true talent and the respect that we should give the fighters who take chances, who actually accomplish significant things in the sport of boxing.